Alright, now in her affirmative, Amanda addressed the problem of America being behind, and she said that the school system was to blame. She stated two major claims as solutions for the problem that I will refute. The first major claim that Amanda made was that if we were to prepare teachers for technology and modernize faster, students would perform better. She also asserted that accountability and fairness needed to be implemented in order to level the playing field when it comes to education. Primarily, the main premise of Amanda's argument was based on technology. She indicated that if we were to prepare teachers with it and modernize faster, students would perform better. The beginning of her reasoning was that, and I quote, "We live in a technology-based world. People know how to use it. Students are comfortable with it. However, what about the students that cannot afford modern technology at home? Are they comfortable?" One of my coworkers has a 12-year-old daughter named Isabella. Isabella is currently enrolled in a primary schooling institution in which she has to take a science course. 3 weeks ago, the teacher instructed the students to look up a specific quantity. However, instead of guiding the students to look it up in their textbook, the teacher prompted the students to use their cellular devices instead. Now, Isabella does have a phone, however, it is used chiefly for keeping in contact with her parents via call and occasional text message. So she was unable to complete the task, and in that moment she did not feel comfortable in the situation or with her lack of technological inclination. Amanda alleged that most technology is user-friendly. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, user-friendly is defined as easy to learn, use, understand, or deal with. Technology may be all these things, but the varying levels as to which children can use them are where the problem lies. In The Negative Effects of Using Technology in Today's Classroom, writer, copy editor, and University of Portland graduate Julia Claus laments that learning time would be lost due to meeting every individual's pace. Amanda also commented that no student wants to read out of a textbook. She said that no student wants to read out of a textbook. Now, although there is no direct definition of terms such as students provided by Amanda in her affirmative statement, she did use words such as children and teens within her debate. Additionally, she did reference all grade levels, which for the sake of my argument, I will believe to be inclusive of primary, secondary, and post-secondary learning institutions. So I myself can say that I am a student. I am enrolled at Santiago Canyon College, and I do prefer reading material out of a textbook rather than obtaining it from technology. So her claim is thus far invalid. Amanda referred to a National Commission on Teaching in America's Future Vice President, Melinda George's teaching experience. George, a former 5th and 4th grade teacher, said that parents would enter classrooms, see the alphabet line, and they would say, "Wow, it looks exactly like it did when I was in school." From this, Amanda went on to stress the need for modernization through technology. Yet, in younger grade levels, alphabets are present for teaching and decorative purposes as well as reminders. Not all classrooms carry them. At a certain grade, the reminders aren't truly necessary. If they are around, it's essentially for a teacher's decoration purpose. Yet, it is originally implemented because it is still used. Yeah, we can give the kindergartner an iPad and teach him or her the alphabet through it, but every time the child needs a gentle reminder of the fact that M comes after the letter L, is it really easier for the child to check the iPad or check out the decorations on the wall? Just because it's available does not mean it's the only piece of information being taught. Additionally, you can't assume that technology has yet to increase based off one incident such as this, especially if we're looking at technology over a 30-year gap. In 1983, technology was merely being implemented for use in teaching aid. Today, classrooms are equipped with smartboards, computers, and students find their grades online. They have computer labs and much more, so you can't say that there hasn't been any progress within the last 30 years. Moving on to her second major claim on fairness and accountability, Amanda asserted that all levels require the same and equal treatment. As stated previously, there was no clarification as to which levels were or were not inclusive in this broad family of her debate. So does that mean that a kindergartner and a college student as myself deserve equal treatment? Do I get a recess and a lunch included in my studies as well? Will materials such as crayons and glue be provided upon my arrival to class, because that would be pretty awesome, but it would also be completely unnecessary and a waste of money. Clearly, equality at all levels would be a waste of resources, but let's keep going. In our cross-examination, I asked Amanda how she would like to go about meeting the needs of diverse children, such as those with disabilities or low incomes. She responded with stating that teachers need to adjust the way they teach. She also noted that schools do have teachers for their children with disabilities. It's just that those teachers also instruct those with lower income. Now, let's just think about that for a second. Going into a school and dividing up children by A, the amount of money that their parents make, and by B, whether or not they have a disability is supposed to increase fairness? How? However, I'd like to say that placing students with mental or physical handicaps in a classroom with students that are living less affluent lifestyles than their peers in the next classroom would not really be fair. The amount of learning going on in each classroom would be significantly different because the teachers would have to take into account the separate learning paces of each student. If a student has a disability, it is more than likely that the disability would impede his or her learning ability, or else, why would they be separated to begin with, and thus will more likely impede the learning abilities of others. Accessibility to great teachers was another point Amanda highlighted in her speech. In our cross-examination, I asked if she could clarify greatness and how we would determine a teacher as such, and she said it was tied to testing and grades. So essentially what Amanda was saying was that if all students are passing, the teacher must be good, and the inverse is true. But I know that I can personally think of instances where I was not learning from a teacher and had to seek outside help of friends, study groups, or maybe even relying purely on a textbook in order to pass a class. Adversely, some students don't care about passing and don't try at all. So can we really blame the external or internal obstacles that a student is facing that aren't related to academics at all and just reprimand the teacher or celebrate the teacher for those? I really don't think so. Ultimately, there was a lot of flawed logic behind this plan, and not much of it was really seen as a thorough thought process, in my opinion, or on how this would be achieved or the impending consequences of it all. So it's clear to see that an acceleration in technology and accountability and fairness by Amanda standards are not really what we need in order to engage school reform.